from the onset. Let's boycott. They are using Safaricom to abduct and arrest Kenyans. Police are not dreaming those locations of Kenyans. Safaricom is giving out the locations, and it is doing that continuously. Let's boycott it. I want to give the speakers who are here on the panel right now, each of them time to give their final submissions as we look at closing this space. This space is hosted by Wakenya Wazalendo and always comes to you at 8 a.m. in the morning, and will be coming to you every day from 8 a.m. in the morning. You can join. If you miss the morning space from 8 a.m. to 12, we always end at 12 p.m. If you miss the morning space in the morning, you'll catch up with us again in the evening space from 6 p.m. if I'm not wrong, Wakenya. You'll enlighten me on that. But I want to give the speakers who are in the panel. I'm seeing a request from one speaker here. I will give you the mic here. I'm seeing James. Yeah, James. James, I'm gonna give you the mic. I was wondering why you had not requested yet, but I'm gonna give you the mic. Yes. So as I do that, as I give James the mic, let me bring in Malia. Malia, how are you? Give us your final submissions and what you think about the topic of today. Malia? Malia, you can unmute and speak.
Thank you. Yeah, so unfortunately, my fellow Kenyans, now Kindiki is your deputy president. You know, even I was looking at that thing and I was like, this guy, there's nothing. And then he even has a nerve to say the person who has helped him in the world of politics there's nobody else whom he has seen who is so good in the area of politics, who has taught him the most in the last 15 years. Kenyans, we are in shit. That's all what I'm going to tell you. But God is there to endelea kuomba, and we need to start mobilizing and coming up with strategies. Because the only thing we have on our side, we have God on our side, and we have numbers. That is what we have. And I think the only way forward for us as Kenyans is civil disobedience. Let people sit down, look at what strategies we can use. Because now we no longer have our elected members at our disposal. We no longer have the judiciary. It's compromised. We no longer have anybody, you know. All we have now is ourselves and our God. So we have to sit down. We have to go and study other countries where there's been civil disobedience, and we see which methods we can use, which will suffer the least amount of casualties, but which will have impact. And from the time when this finance bill came up, and sadly we lost our people, many of them, some morgues, I understand there's up to 600 bodies unidentified. You know, all over the country, there was a lot of carnage. We now want to take it a step further. After the finance bill was shut down, and Kenyans even went to the houses of their MPs, and they even engaged lawyers to start the processes of recalling the MPs who voted yes. Now, I think now where things have gotten, we need to start now going to that direction. As much as right now there's no IBC which has been constituted, that is one way we need to start. If you see, because there's no point of view electing somebody, then when they go there, they're at the disposal of one person. No. So if we sent you there, you are now no longer representing us, Basi, give us back our seat, and then you go with the money which Ruto gave you and you do your other business. I think recalling should become the order of the day in Kenya now. Because we cannot have a situation whereby, why do we go to vote? If at all when we send you there, you are not going to stand for us. But the other thing is that we need to sit down and really be strategic, because this guy is strategic. This guy has the monopoly of violence. This guy has now all the organs of government in his pocket. So we need to sit down. Let's study what other people across the world have done. Let's come up with even specific strategies, like what I remember there was a time back when we were saying resist. So like boycotting some products and all that. As you can see now, since we began the boycott Safaricom has now come out clearly and are even willing to, so they know they're about to lose a lot of customers and a lot of money. So they are beginning now to realize that we are the ones who are keeping them in business, and they are beginning to now keep on giving press releases because they are scared of what is coming. That is not the way. We are going to sit down. We are going to look at other countries, other revolutions. We go and sit down and see modern ways of civil disobedience in which we can be able to get what we want. Because now what we have as a bargaining chip. Before, we thought we had the judiciary on our side as bargaining power, or our elected officials. We don't have that now anymore. We thought we had the church. We don't have that. We thought we had the various. We thought we had recourse. We had some bargaining power as citizens of this country. Now that those ones have been, we have now to come up with others, which will be able, because you see, from the time when people started going to the homes of the elected officials who voted yes to the finance bill, and they started booing them in meetings, not allowing them to speak in meetings, and they got scared. They were not sleeping in their homes, and their numbers were being put on the online, and they were being salimiwad, and they are even their private, because if they are, for example, I understand some of these people, they're even gay. So if you're going to get that information, you hack their phones and get that information and use it to threaten them or expose them. You say now we are no longer dealing with this. You cannot bring a stick to a gunfight. This is now a gunfight. The stick we've been using of just mandamano, of just retweeting and hashtags, hiyo haifanyi sasa. Ingekuwa inafanya, we are at 1 billion impressions for Okoa angekuwa amereleasiwa. We now have to regroup, re-strategize, come up with very candid ways and we can hit them where it matters. And if you want to know that civil disobedience and mass, and those kinds of things work, right now, come to Nairobi. Tell me if you are hearing. Before, you would hear sirens for these people to these officials to pass on the road. We excuse them, they pass on the road. Nowadays, it's only ambulances. Since that July 25th, I've not seen a motorcade of one of these people the way they used to do. So wameacha hiyo. They don't even, then being known had become a liability, because if you are known, people may turn against you. So now they're in silence. They're moving in silence. They don't want to be recognized. So those are the kind of things that we are going to now start doing. Let's sit down. Let's think. How can we hit them where it hurts? Because that's when we'll get our bargaining power back. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Malia. Thank you very much, Malia. Let me bring in some of the new speakers we had. James, how are you? Can anyone hear me? Okay, James, I gave you the mic.
I'll say good morning. And as a neighbor in Uganda, I'll just tell you one thing, that the changes that are in Kenya right now, as a result of your rising up, you can't deny that fact. And you might not see it because it is painful change, but it is going to take you again to stand up. Just like the last speaker, when you said you have God and people on your side. You have tested everything to the latter, and you have seen for yourself that you are standing out alone. You're on your own. And we from Uganda, I think, have gone through that long time ago. You provoked the United States, you provoked Uganda, and of course, your country is now an ally of the United States. So you have Museveni, Ruto, and America against you. But you have numbers. You have numbers. Like you have said, you have numbers. How do you get off the plateau? And you'll come out better. Just appreciate that the change you are seeing in Kenya is because you have done what you did. Of course, it's costly, it's expensive, lives are lost. How many are you ready to sacrifice more? I think yes. If you seem to be ready more than us in Uganda. Those abductions, I think, are to wear you down. But the question you should ask, who next? And if all of you can say nobody should be abducted again, for us, we kind of see you people stronger than us in Uganda. For us, we've had that for 40 years. I don't know how long we'll have it. We've had it for 40 years, and there's too much apathy at home. But I like your resilience. At least you still have numbers when it comes to spaces. For mobilization, in Uganda, you can hardly get a space of 30 or 20 people. For you can have spaces every day, the whole night. Your spaces run. For us, we're in packets. But just appreciate yourselves. The change in Kenya is what you have done. Maybe I can stop there for now since I joined late, but at least I appreciate what you have done so far. So far, so good. Some of us who see change, some of us who feel you, appreciate what you have done. You remain an example in East Africa, but I think just complete the revolution. If you leave it hanging where it is, you'll pay more cost than like we're paying in Uganda. Thank you.
Thank you. That is James. Is a speaker in our spaces, and is from Uganda. And you've heard what he said. We have numbers, we have unity, and they like, and we inspire a lot of African countries, including Uganda. You've heard from James. So we need to find a way of ensuring this unity sticks, this unity grows, and this unity drives the agenda that we have of bringing change to our country and kicking out this tyrant regime.
Guys.
I have seen a post that, and we have pinned it on the Jumbo Trail. I think it was a post from Brenda. Yeah, Brenda _Ogo. And the post was just about Finance Bill 2024. And actually, that's a good